Chapter 38. As she drove on through Blackmore Vale, and the landscape of her youth began to open around her, Tess aroused herself from her stupor. Her first thought was, how would she be able to face her parents? She reached a turnpike gate, which stood upon the highway to the village. It was thrown open by a stranger, not by the old man who had kept it for many years, and to whom she had been known. He had probably left on New Year's Day, the date when such changes were made. Having received no intelligence lately from her home, she asked the turnpike keeper for news. "Oh, nothing, miss," he answered. "Marlott is Marlott still. Folks have died and that. John Durbeyfield, too, have a daughter married this week to a gentleman farmer. Not from John's own house, you know. They was married elsewhere, the gentleman being of that high standing that John's own folk was not considered well-be-doing enough to have any part in it. The bridegroom seeming not to know how to have been discovered that John is a old and ancient nobleman himself by blood, with family skillingtons in their own vaults to this day, but done out of his property in the time of the Romans. However, Sir John, as we call him now, kept up the wedding day as well as he could, and stood treat to everybody in the parish, and John's wife sung songs at the pure dewdrop till past 11 at night." Hearing this, Tess felt so sick at heart that she could not decide to go home publicly in the fly with her luggage and belongings. She asked the turnpike keeper if she might deposit her things at his house for a while, and on his offering no objection, she dismissed her carriage and went on to the village alone by a back lane. At sight of her father's chimney she asked herself how she could possibly enter the house. Inside that cottage her relations were calmly supposing her far away on a wedding tour with a comparatively rich man, who was to conduct her to bouncing prosperity, while here she was, friendless, creeping up to the old door quite by herself, with no better place to go to in the world. She did not reach the house unobserved. Just by the garden hedge she was met by a girl who knew her, one of the 2 or 3 with whom she had been intimate at school. After making a few inquiries as to how Tess came there, her friend, unheeding her tragic look, interrupted with, "But where's thy gentleman, Tess?" Tess hastily explained that he had been called away on business, and leaving her interlocutor clambered over the garden hedge, and thus made her way to the house. As she went up the garden path she heard her mother singing by the back door, coming in sight of which she perceived Mrs. Durbeyfield on the doorstep in the act of wringing a sheet. Having performed this without observing Tess, she went indoors, and her daughter followed her. The washing tub stood in the same old place on the same old quarter hogshead, and her mother, having thrown the sheet aside, was about to plunge her arms in anew. "Why, Tess, my child, I thought you was married really and truly by this time. We sent the cider." "Yes, mother, so I am." "Going to be?" "No, I am married." "Married? Then where's thy husband?" "Oh, he's gone away for a time." "Gone away? When was you married then? The day you said?" "Yes, Tuesday, mother." "And now 'tis only Saturday, and he's gone away?" "Yes, he's gone." "What's the meaning of that? Nations see such husbands as you seem to get, say I." "Mother!" Tess went across to Joan Durbeyfield, laid her face upon the matron's bosom, and burst into sobs. "I don't know how to tell 'ee, mother. You said to me, and wrote to me, that I was not to tell him. But I did tell him. I couldn't help it. And he went away." "Oh, you little fool, you little fool!" burst out Mrs. Durbeyfield, splashing Tess and herself in her agitation. "My good God, that ever I should have lived to say it! But I say it again, you little fool!" Tess was convulsed with weeping, the tension of so many days having relaxed at last. "I know it, I know," she gasped through her sobs. "But, oh, my mother, I could not help it. He was so good, and I felt the wickedness of trying to blind him as to what had happened. If it were to be done again, I should do the same. I could not, I dared not so sin against him." "But you sinned enough to marry him first." Yes, that's where my misery do lie. But I thought he could get rid of me by law if it were determined not to overlook it. And oh, if you could only half know how I loved him, how anxious I was to have him, and how wrong I was between caring so much for him and my wish to be fair to him." Tess was so shaken that she could get no further, and sank, a helpless thing, into a chair. Well, what's done cannot be undone. I'm sure I don't know why children of my bringing should all be bigger simpletons than other people's, not to know better than to blab such a thing as that, when he couldn't have found out till too late. Here Mrs. Durbeyfield began shedding tears on her own account as a mother to be pitied. "What your father will say I don't know," she continued, "and he's been talking about the wedding up at Rolliver's and the Pure Drop every day since, and about his family getting back to their rightful position through you, poor silly man. And now you've made this mess of it, the Lord.